I'm here with Kaden Creamer, this guy, the Sojin guy, who is you guitar tech? Are you drum tech? Are
Kind of a
you
little bit of
merch? Are you a bus driver? Are you
kind
all
of a
the
little
above?
bit of everything.
Yeah.
So my official kind of like title is Backline Tech.
Okay.
So I do take care of all 6 guys band wise that we have on stage. So it is it's fun though. It's very
Okay.
fun.
Kaden, who's Backline Tech for?
Riley Green.
Let's go,
That's
baby.
it.
Okay, I want to go. I know we have a ton of time, but let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from South Georgia.
Okay.
Kind of Dublin, Hazelhurst area, and I went to high school in Warner Robins, Georgia. So just kind of I grew up around there. Moved to Nashville whenever I was 18.
Okay. Have you always done music stuff?
I have. I grew up playing in church, playing drums, so I'm a drummer at heart. And
That's
just
the Zildjian shirt?
yes, it's the Zildjian shirt. But I grew up playing drums. Grew up going to church. My dad was a worship pastor, so
Mine
I was
too.
there. Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah.
So we grew up in the Church of God. We had all the revivals, all the things. So I sat there and I had a great time. I learned a lot of audio, learned a lot like how to play drums, like how to read people, all the things. So
Church is such a great way to cut your teeth, man.
it is. It is.
Really
I did
is.
it for a long time too. I didn't quit as far as like doing things with dad and revivals and all that, driving around with my pastor until I moved. So
it's such a cool environment to like make mistakes.
Yep.
And then you're also not dealing with the best equipment, so you kind of got to like make things
that's it.
work with
That's it.
like, and also with volunteers, like all of you guys are together, just gonna kind of make it work
Yep.
every Sunday. So we're all here for a bigger cause. And I honestly noticed too that people love following someone with a vision.
Yep.
And with a dream for it.
Yes.
And if someone who has a dream and a vision for something, people want to come and fall
Absolutely.
behind that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so church, you're involved with that, involved with your dad.
Yep.
It's a big jump from like there
It
to
is.
here. Like, how'd you get to touring world?
So whenever I was,
Did you go straight from church service to bus?
something like that. It was a lot quicker than normal. I didn't do the whole thing with Broadway and all that stuff, and it was just kind of God's timing, right where I needed to be. And I was in high school at Houston County High School in Robbins, so their band program and all of that I was involved in, and that it was a great program. So they allowed me to kind of see that there was other jobs out there, and I wanted to work in music. Didn't know what I wanted to do, but that was what I wanted. I knew that it was going to be something in there. Didn't even know that touring was really much of a thing, but I knew that they did concerts, but I didn't much know anything else after that. So I looked up some kind of school for drums. It didn't really pan out. I kind of talked a little bit about going to AIM in Atlanta, and that just never really worked out. And I got a hold of Blackbird Academy, and I followed the audio path.
Okay.
So I was like, anytime I wasn't playing drums at a revival or something like that, church related, I was doing audio. So
did you go to Blackbird Live?
I went to Blackbird Live.
Let's go.
So I stayed there and did their whole thing. I moved up at 18, started the month after I moved, and I
Wait,
got
how old
going.
were you went to Blackbird?
18.
And so you're really an audio guy at heart.
I didn't know that yet whenever
Okay.
I went to Blackbird. So
Okay.
I went to Blackbird and thinking I was going to be an audio guy. That was what I was decently good at it, and knowing that drums and backline was my passion. Didn't even know backline was a thing yet. We hit Backline week and I fell in love. So I was like, now I talked to Ernie up there at Blackbird, and he just directed me towards the path. I talked to him for a while, like a couple of nights after we all left, and I was like, I feel bad for coming to an audio school whenever I wanted to do backline. He's like, man, there's so many other ways to get into this industry.
Yeah.
If you fell in love with Backline week, that's why Backline week's a thing. So
yeah.
we started, I just took it and ran with it, and when I needed a job, I was like, there's not really anywhere to jump into backline. You could do cartage, you could do put your hands on cases and stuff, but there's no school for it. And everybody I talked to that was already on the road just started saying like, hey, this is kind of something I fell into. So I was like, okay, well then I need to go somewhere where I can make some connections and cut my teeth a little more, pay my dues, whatever I need to do. And I just went across the street to Claire, started pulling cables for 3 months. And then I got noticed by the shop manager and Robert Bull and he put me in the rehearsal space. So I started running monitors for some artists and everything in and out, like setting up for rehearsals, and then I anything that they needed for backline stuff. Sometimes I got a request that, hey, can you set up a drum kit? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I knew exactly what to do, what company it was, whatever I needed to do to get them sorted. And I turned to a couple of heads enough where they're like, hey, Bull got the phone call and Bull directed to me, which is a blessing, not anything I could have ever asked for.
So, what's your advice to people who are? How are we doing time? They got to
We're
go
good.
on. When do they
We're
go
good.
on?
7.
Oh, we got time. Cool. So, what's your advice to people who want to go on tour, but they're not necessarily sure if like going to that particular school is the way to do it?
I would say that there is a million and one ways to get into the industry, and you hear a lot about a guy like band guys going to Broadway and all this stuff, and then
Yeah.
you just meet people and meet people and meet people. There's a million and one ways to do it. So it is 100% connections. All I had to do was be on my P's and Q's, get stuff done, have a great attitude, and be decently good at what I was doing, and you'll turn heads eventually. You'll get somewhere there.
Is there anything? Do you still take away anything and use it from that you learned from Blackbird? For this?
Absolutely. So a major part of why I got this gig was because I went to Blackbird. Because they on my resume, obviously I'm 19 when I got hired on here, so on my resume it didn't say much about like, hey, I worked at Panera Bread when I was 15. That was about it. A mechanic whenever I was out of high school and then moved here. But then it was more just I got the experience at Blackbird, moved on to Claire, and that whole like year and a half at Claire, or a year-ish, taught me a lot about exactly what they need. I didn't realize how big of a shark that Claire was in the industry until I got out on the road, and I'm like, hey, I know all this stuff works because I've been hands-on in the shop. So they looked at that on my resume. It was just kind of like, hey, this dude knows audio like the back of his hand, knows Backline because we've got a great recommendation for him. Feel like that was a major reason why I got hired. So
Okay, you went to
really
Blackbird,
easy.
went there for school, went there for audio, like, and then you had was there like a light bulb moment at that
Blackbird.
at the backline portion of it that was
Yep.
like, can you remember the moment that was like, I want to do that?
Yeah, so we had a drummer come in, and he was amazing. And they started kind of saying like, Monday and Tuesday was drums, Wednesday was bass, and we went through like all the inner workings because most of us were a musician, but we couldn't change out a pickup if we had to, something like that. So we took apart a bass guitar, took apart a guitar, and took apart a whole drum kit and learned the inner workings of it. What is a lug? What is a tension rod? That kind of thing. So I remember whenever they were like teaching us all this stuff, I kind of just sat back because I'm sitting here like, I've watched so many YouTube videos on that exact kit kind of thing. So I'm going to let everybody kind of hone in. And then as soon as a question came my way, I knew exactly what it was. So and then it's kind of like, you can do this on tour? Like, yeah, there's spots for it. That's what I want to do. That's
Okay,
it.
when you went to Claire across the street,
Yep.
did you go to them with the desire to do backline? Did you tell them that,
Yes.
or
I went through about a month worth of like, I want to do backline researching. Can I do cartage? Can I work in studio? Don't really want to work in studio. Want to get on the road. Don't want to take a backward step. And then it kind of came to a spot where I didn't find anything. So I knew that I could walk across the street, and they probably offered me a shop position. So that's exactly what I did. And I just pulled cables and kind of paid my dues in a sort. But the backline position was already filled. Guy was doing a great job. It was not my place to walk in and just kind of turn tables. So I just walked in, paid my dues, and tried to work as hard as I could until I could get into a place where I could show off my skills a little bit.
so you still a Claire guy? You
I
freelance
don't work
now?
there anymore. It was like back and forth for a little bit, but now I'm full time with Riley, so I'm on the road with him, and then home when I'm home, and that's about it.
Bro, 19 and touring with that's pretty
Now I'm
freaking
20,
cool.
so maybe it's a little bit better.
You're 20 now?
Yes.
Okay, still, you're not even old enough to, man, congratulations on doing this,
Well, I
man.
appreciate
I
it.
mean, really, it's at such a young age. I'm excited to like check in with you
Yeah.
more and more years down the road, man.
Yep. Which was I did have a vision about that. Like whenever
Okay.
whenever I got out of high school and I was like, I want to do music and got into Blackbird, the first month of Blackbird, I remember calling my dad and my mom being like, hey, look, if there's a way I can get into the touring industry before I'm 25, I'll be 30 and have 8 years of experience and be 30. And like, that's pretty awesome on a resume. And if I can do it, if I can work hard enough to get to it, and now I'm 19 in the industry, and before I'm 30, I'm gonna have 10 years of experience.
And you got mom and dad here, right?
My mom is here.
Mom's
Yes.
here. That's awesome, bro. How cool is it for them to be here?
They're slightly starstruck. All right, how did this? Yeah.
Is this their first time coming singing at work?
Yes, it is.
No
Yes, it is.
way.
Yeah, well, Dad's been here a couple of times. Mom, this is her first time. We're in Athens right now, so I got a couple buddies that went to UGA, so they're all here too.
Dude, how cool is that, man?
It's a full circle moment. I have guys like if you go all the way back to high school, I have guys that were teaching me, how to do rudiments on drums. That was my section leader, and now he's here, and he's it's a full circle. So
That's awesome. I know we don't have a ton of time. I'm gonna grab this camera, and do you mind showing us some of the gear and some of the equipment, if you don't
Absolutely.
mind, like what kind of strings you're using, and maybe walk us through a couple of these guitars that they're using?
Sure.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome. Let me
Awesome.
flip this around. Loosen this. Off we go. All right,
cool.
let's go. Walk me through some awesome guitars. First off, what kind of strings y'all using?
We are using all Ernie Ball products. So most of the guys on their electric like to use these paradigms from Ernie Ball. It's our go-to. It sounds great. Sounds bright. Sounds exactly what they want to with their rig. And all of our electric guitars get this string, except our stage right guy. He uses these Ernie Ball coated slinkies. He goes through these paradigms too fast. So we went through a couple of trials with him, and then found out that this worked, and this held the sound longer that he was looking for longer. So we decided to go with these. We still have to change those out a good bit with him. He cranks it hard on it, so it takes a lot out of those strings per show.
And bro, this is a lot of guitars to be.
It is.
And
So
basses.
the whole
Do
band.
they use every
is
single
over
one of
here.
these?
They do. Every single one goes out at some point during the show, but it gets a lot less stressful whenever the show gets started around changeover, because most of these guitars, like these two, are with our keys / utility guy. He plays acoustic and electric and Mando up on that riser. These will go up on guitar stands on that riser, so they get out of the vault. Then we do have another utility guy that plays steel guitar, Mando, fiddle, dobro, and banjo. So these will go also up on the riser. So really, it's just my stage right guitar player and my stage left guitar player, and obviously bass and a spare bass. So it gets a lot less stressful once all those guys are wearing a guitar up on the show.
Okay. Which ones are your top 3 favorite guitars here?
Man, he just got this Ernie Ball bass.
Woo! Look at the sparkles, baby.
Yes, it is absolutely gorgeous. I love taking care of this. It sounds incredible. It's got a little custom strap on and everything.
That's beautiful.
It's awesome.
Wow.
This is the top favorite. He has a duplicate of this as a spare. This was his main. So again,
5
just
string.
using the
I like
5
it.
strings Stingray or Music Man.
Is it tuned B-E-A-D-G?
We're all half step down here.
Okay,
so
okay.
Classic country.
But standard tuning, just half down?
Yep.
Cool.
This one's awesome too. This is a JL Custom.
Woo!
We're about all outfitted here, JL Custom, just about it. Our guys love JL Custom, so we're shout out to them. But he's got this is our band leader, music director, whatever you want to call him. This is his rig. This is his main guitar. This is his baby, and it's awesome. Striking on
That's a gorgeous
stage.
guitar, man.
So this is another favorite, and I'd have to say I got 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
This is another JL.
Oh, dude.
Again, awesome spec. This is newer. Kind of just got it for this tour. Again, JL
Is
outfitted
it
us.
semi-hollow?
Yes.
That's beautiful, man.
So this is an honorable mention, but I personally, this is my favorite guitar in the vault. It's an Anderson.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
just
that color.
awesome, striking. I love the raw wood right there. This he uses for one song, and it's When She Comes Home for the tremolo, and it sounds killer.
Oh my gosh,
Strat
dude.
style song. That has to be probably my 4.
What is the oldest guitar here?
Oldest. Oh man. I guess probably this Ibanez here.
Do you know what year it is?
I don't. I do know. I think it's 70s or 80s. Oh, 60s. Wow, 60s.
What's the newest guitar?
Newest guitar will probably be that JL that was just built for this tour.
Okay.
This one here.
Yep. Walk me through your tuners. What do you use to tune?
Um, all of my guys, so I have them rigged up on their acoustics with Unitune, kind of Polytune, just little clip-on tuners for their acoustic. So sometimes their pedal tuners doesn't pick up very well with the certain pickups that are in the acoustics. So I have them rigged up with a capo and a tuner like that on every acoustic guitar that we have. And so I kind of match that because most of the guys have a Polytune on their pedal board. So I have a Polytune over here. I also have a Peterson. This one's just tried and true. It's awesome.
I love it. Well, man, it looks like they're about to go on. If people want to follow you and follow your career, where can they follow you at?
Instagram. So Kaden L Creamer, Kaden, the letter L, Creamer. That's my Instagram handle. It's got
Awesome.
everything there.
Or stage left at a Riley Green show
Yes,
near
sir.
you. Let's go, baby. Thank you so much, brother.